Alrighty, y'all. We got some breaking news in the NBA, all surrounding the Milwaukee Bucks. I wasn't going to do a video on this, but the story keeps getting a little more intense, so we're actually going to dive into it. So first, the news broke about 15 minutes ago that Myles Turner had signed with the team on a 4-year, $107 million deal with the Milwaukee Bucks. I was like, whoa. How did that happen on a multitude of facets, right? How did the Pacers let him get away? And then also, how did the Bucks even have space to sign him? They shouldn't even be able to do this. So we started theorizing, like, and this is all like in the last 15 minutes. We're on the Discord. We're like, oh, Kuzma's getting traded. Somebody else is on the move. Something else is happening. Well, no, not quite. Damian Lillard has been stretched and waived, and basically what that means for those of you not familiar is that the Bucks have cut Damian Lillard, but because his contract is guaranteed and he makes like over $50 million a season, I guess 113 million over the next 2 years. You guys can do the math, a little over 50 million. They're basically still giving him that money, but over more years now, and he's just won't be on the team for this. So they've stretched him over 5 years, which amounts to about 22-ish million dollars. That is just going to be dead cap that the Bucks can't use for each of the next 5 seasons, which is pretty insane, honestly. Like, look, the Bucks are trying to keep Giannis happy. They want to stay competitive. Going and getting Myles Turner is certainly a way of doing that. Myles Turner is an awesome basketball player. Not having that cap space over the next couple years is certainly rough, but they're just trying to play it 1 year at a time, so I can kind of understand that. They didn't have to use any like draft capital or anything now to move off of some money. I don't know, man. It's kind of wild. It's kind of wild. There's part of me that says that there should have been a way to explore getting off of Damian Lillard to some team because they can kind of just buy him out for the last season so that he can go be competitive somewhere. But clearly they had an opportunity to go get Myles Turner. So like we have to act now in order to do this. And this is what they did. I want to talk about this from like a Bucks perspective really quick. And then we'll talk about the Pacers because I have a lot of thoughts on that instantly. And I'm trying to refresh the page just in case there's more things going on with this. But Myles Turner coming to the Bucks is awesome. They just lost Brook Lopez. He's going to the Clippers as of right now, and it was a hole for them, right? Like they were going to have Bobby Portis, like maybe Jericho Sims is coming back, but they don't really have that starter quality center. Well, Brook Lopez was kind of that 3-and-D big for them, and this is an even better version of that. Myles Turner has been a really awesome player for a while now, and he obviously was just in the finals where, yes, he didn't play that well. Myles Turner was pretty great otherwise this season. I don't try not to judge like one series at a time. That's silly. Looking at Turner, though, I'm kind of left baffled about how the Pacers didn't bring him back. They just went on this finals run. He is a crucial part to this team where there's just not a lot of center play going on. He was perfect within their system, and apparently they never offered him more than like 3 years, $25 million, or it was like a $20 million a year. I think they said they offered him like 3 years, $60 million. So $20 million a year, that's below like starter money. Like that's like 6-man type of money now we're talking about. And that's a bad look for Indiana. And now Indiana is notorious for not paying the luxury tax. They don't like to do that. They're one of those teams that just don't do it. They're a smaller market team, and that's how their ownership has always been. The question after this year was always like, hey, now that your team is like this good and you're going to have to re-sign Myles Turner, you guys are going to pay the tax, right? So you can remain competitive. And we weren't sure what was going to happen. Then the Tyrese Halliburton injury happens, and we're all kind of like, okay, now what are they going to do? Are they going to move off some other pieces to retain Turner? Because how is this going to work? Or are they still going to pay the luxury tax anyway? And apparently they just didn't. And that's really disappointing to see from an organization that just went to the finals, and then you're not willing to pay your players even a competitive wage to keep them around. And like, I understand the Pacers probably weren't going to be able to contend next year without Halliburton. They still were probably going to be a pretty good team. And then Halliburton comes back, hopefully he's good to go. I don't know why you wouldn't try that. I don't know how you're going to replace Myles Turner going forward. Like, it was such a perfect fit. Like I said, you just went to the finals and went all the way with one of the best teams we've ever seen in OKC. And I don't know, man. That's really disappointing. It's such a bummer to see. Like, this type of stuff, like, trickulates, or trickulates? What is the word I'm fucking looking for right now? I don't know, but it trickles. What the hell was I trying to say there for a second? Your boy's working on another project right now, so my brain is elsewhere. But this kind of stuff trickles around the NBA, and they're gonna see this as a Myles Turner that's given a lot to this organization in Indiana, and to not be rewarded after sticking with them for all these years, helping take them to the finals, and then they don't reward him. That sticks with people, man. That sticks with people. And Indiana is one of the more like well-run organizations in the NBA. They're kind of known to always try to be competitive. Like they're very blue collar. Like we're not going to spend a ton of money, but we're going to fight every single year type of thing. And this is a bummer to see. Like it was already going to be tough for you guys to ever get free agents. I'm not sure how you're going to do it. Like now, it's not a good look. It's really not a good look. And I have to imagine the players on the team are not too happy to see something like this, because now they're like, shit, am I going to get rewarded for something like this? I don't know. It's a disappointment for sure. It's a disappointment for sure. So if you're an Indiana fan, you probably feel pretty cheated, man, because you just lost him for nothing. Absolutely nothing. And then Bucks fans, you now have a somewhat competent basketball team again. Your point guard position's looking a little rough. You're gonna be in some cap gymnastics for the next like 5 seasons because of this whole Damian Lillard thing. So like I get it, because like you got Myles Turner, and like can we just say too, like this Myles Turner deal is still like a pretty awesome deal. Like it's a little over $25 million a year, about like a little bit over 25 million. That's starter money. 25 million is kind of what we say is like, oh, that's a solid starter right there. I think Myles Turner's a little bit better than the average starter, and center is probably the hardest position to fill right now. So I think you got an awesome deal. He's got a player option at the end that's good for him. Like this is great. I think it's great for Milwaukee. They still obviously have some places that they need to build up and stuff, and I still don't see them as necessarily a contender, but whenever you have Giannis, you are. It's just, I don't know. I get it. You had to do a Myles Turner thing, and it was going to be hard for this team to make any moves just because Kuzma is going to be really hard to trade. Lillard was going to be really hard to trade. But I guess you're just kind of taking it year by year and figuring it out. But hey, shout out to Milwaukee. They made something happen. They at least took the swing, right? That's something that Indiana didn't really seem like they were willing to do. And that always bums me out, man. That always bums me out. There's always the disconnect of like, you don't want to count other people's pockets of these owners, but like these billionaires and everything, is there any pride to stay competitive sometimes? I mean, you would think so, right? You would certainly think so. But hey, that's why certain teams get the free agents more often. That's why people like the Clippers are getting free agents and stuff right now, because people want to go play for Ballmer because he gives a shit about his players. So it's things like that, right? These things make their way around the league, and certain franchises just can't get people because they know that this is how they're run. So it's really disappointing. I don't mean to make it a bummer or anything. I guess you should be kind of excited if you're Milwaukee. I mean, I think, like I said, you take it year by year and you keep building, and that's exciting. But yeah, if you're Indiana, you are probably pretty bummed out about this. Let me refresh it one more time just to see if there's anything else here. Nope. That's just going to be what it's going to be. I'll have a full update for you guys on day 2 of free agency at the end of the day today. Like I said, I'm kind of building something on the side that I have to do today, and then I'll build another thing for the video later or whatever. But as always, I appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment. As always, I'm trying to give you guys this news as quickly as possible. Go watch some of the other videos that are out right now, and yeah, we'll see you guys later. Thanks so much. Bye.